all addictions affect the lower central portion of the brain, the cortex, that regulates learning and reasoning. That is, as close as the scientists will get to saying that pornography use diminishes the moral centers of the brain. Now, there's what the scientists call the law of frequency. The more often two things are linked, the more powerful that association becomes until they become inseparable. When I was in college in the psychology course, the only one that I took in college, I was a young, naive fellow, you know, and I was amazed at this. That's about the only thing I remember that stuck in my brain from that course. But in England at the time, there was a pornographic magazine being published. And in it, all of the naked women wore gas masks with those big, long pig snouts and that big filter on the end of it like that. Now, that was just totally bizarre to me. And the psychology book explained what had happened. Back during the Second World War, when young boys, 13, 14, 15, going through puberty, would flee down into the shelters when the German bombs and rockets would come in, they were sitting there packed together in those underground shelters with young girls and women who'd rushed out of their homes in their nightgowns, sometimes less, half-dressed, and there they sat packed for hours at a time while the bombs came in, these boys going through puberty. And the people had donned a gas mask. So here sat across from him a girl with one of these stupid-looking snout gas masks on in her petticoat as the boy goes through puberty. He gets to be a man 45 years old, and he's turned on by a naked woman wearing a gas mask. Now that's what you call the law of frequency, a law of association. Two things happening together at the same time creates an association so that one evokes the other. It's something that happens in the brain. It's where those pathways are linked together. That's why, folks, it's so horrible when in pornography they begin to link violence and then they throw children into the mix. And in the man's brain, those things become identical. So that to be turned on has to do then with children, sometimes animals, and with all kinds of other perversions of violence and blood. They are actually changing their, in a sense, constitution. So they're recreating themselves and becoming a different creature from what God designed. Some of you here are on the road to recreating yourself into an ugly, monstrous creature. Something that feeds on the souls of little children and innocent women. Something dirty and degrading, something for which God created hell. The very reason he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah with the men, women, and had to destroy the children because they'd been contaminated by the pleasures of the men.